The Great Brink's Robbery. The Great Brink's Robbery, carried out on January 17, 1950, was a result of meticulous planning and surveillance over a period of 2 years. The robbery was orchestrated by a gang of 11 seasoned criminals, each chosen for their specific skills and roles in the heist. The gang consisted of Joseph Big Joe McGinnis, the mastermind; Joseph Specs O'Keefe, lookout and eventual informant; Anthony Fats Pino, second-in-command and primary recruiter; Stanley Gusciora, expert safecracker; Vincent Costa, skilled lockpicker; Michael Vincent Geegan, driver; Thomas F. Richardson, alarm disabler; Henry Baker, managed inside operations; Adolph Jazz Maffey, muscle; James Faherty, experienced armed robber; Piero Peter Pino, youngest and least experienced, recruited by his brother Anthony. The gang conducted numerous surveillance operations on the Brink's armored car depot in the north end of Boston. They studied the depot's security measures, employee routines, and building layout. They obtained copies of the depot keys and rehearsed the robbery multiple times to ensure every detail was accounted for. On January 17, 1950, the plan was put into action. At around 7:10 p.m., the gang, disguised in navy pea coats, chauffeurs' caps, rubber Halloween masks, and gloves, entered the Brink's depot through a side door using a copied key. Once inside, they encountered 5 Brink's employees who were preparing cash for delivery. The robbers quickly overpowered and bound the employees. They moved to the second floor, where they found bags of cash, checks, and money orders ready for transport. The gang loaded the loot into canvas bags and carried them out to a stolen truck parked nearby. The entire operation was executed with military precision and took only about 30 minutes. The robbers left the scene, avoiding any actions that might attract attention. They drove the stolen truck to a safe location, transferred the money to another vehicle, and dispersed. The total haul from the robbery amounted to $2.775 million, equivalent to about $30 million today, making it the largest robbery in U.S. history at the time. The robbers left behind almost no clues, and the Brink's employees could provide only vague descriptions due to the robbers' disguises. The FBI and Boston police launched a massive investigation, but the lack of physical evidence and eyewitness testimony made progress slow. The gang members, meanwhile, decided to lay low and avoid spending the stolen money, hoping to wait out the 6-year statute of limitations for the crime. Over time, tensions within the gang began to rise. Joseph Specs O'Keefe, one of the key members, was arrested for another crime and sentenced to prison. Feeling abandoned by his fellow robbers, who had not provided the promised support for his legal defense, O'Keefe became increasingly anxious and paranoid. He feared for his life and started to believe that his former accomplices might kill him to ensure his silence. In July 1954, O'Keefe survived an assassination attempt while in prison. This attempt on his life further convinced him that his former partners could not be trusted. In January 1955, O'Keefe began cooperating with the FBI in exchange for protection and a lighter sentence. O'Keefe's detailed confession provided the breakthrough the authorities needed. He identified the other gang members and described the entire robbery in meticulous detail. Based on his information, the FBI arrested most of the gang members, including Anthony Pino, Stanley Gusciora, and Henry Baker. During the trial, the prosecution presented overwhelming evidence against the defendants, including O'Keefe's testimony and recovered stolen money. On October 5, 1956, 8 members of the gang were convicted and sentenced to long prison terms ranging from 20 years to life. Joseph McGinnis, the mastermind, was sentenced to 25 years, and Anthony Pino received 20 years. Despite the arrests and convictions, a significant portion of the stolen money was never recovered. The Great Brink's Robbery became a legendary case, representing both the ingenuity and ultimate downfall of criminal enterprises. The case has been immortalized in popular culture through books, documentaries, and movies, including the 1978 film The Brink's Job, directed by William Friedkin. The story of the robbery continues to captivate the public, serving as a reminder of how even the most meticulously planned crimes can ultimately fail due to human error and betrayal. The Brink's Job remains one of the most famous and well-executed heists in American history, illustrating the complex interplay between criminal genius and the relentless pursuit of justice by law enforcement.